Welcome to Florida Education News. My name is Dr. Tony Arza, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with a Palm Beach County School Board candidate, Christina Romelus. It's great to sit down with you. Thanks so much for being with us.
Same here. Thank you so much for having me.
So look, we've been going around the state of Florida, and one of the things that's important for us is we want to make sure that voters have the opportunity to get to meet people that are on the ballot. And we believe that an informed voter is a great voter, and the more that we can do to expose them to the candidates that are on the ballot, it's better for the state. And so we wanted to sit down, and we have the pleasure of sitting down with you to get the sense of what motivated you, what moved you to want to run for school board. And every voter wants to start with the basic question of, why are you doing this? Why get involved at all? Could you share a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Well, I would say first and foremost, I am a mother. I'm a mother of two boys who are in our public schools, Christian and David Lee, and they are 13 and 10 years old. So they're going into 8th and 5th grade this year. School starts in a couple of weeks. So I don't know if they're excited, but I know I am. And in terms of why I'm running, they are my priority in terms of we need strong champions. We need people to really work for our students and to make sure that their outcomes are the top priority when it comes to being a school board member. I am very well equipped for the role. My background is both in politics and in education. I served as the former vice mayor in the city of Boynton Beach, served there in office from 2016 to 2022. And outside of the political spectrum of leading a city government, running hundreds of millions of dollars in a budget, and really understanding how to really formulate policy that takes all sides into consideration and makes fair, equitable policy decisions. I also have a strength in education. My background in terms of my day job is in education. I'm the former professor at Palm Beach State College, taught anatomy and physiology there to numerous students going into our medical and health care careers. I am also a nurse. That's my background as well. So that's where that training comes in. And for me, it's a passion to really educate and prepare the next generation for their future. So being able to put those two hats together of policy and education, and to put that and serve our students within the Palm Beach County School District, that's why I'm running.
So, you've been a teacher, right, a professor, and then you're a nurse, you're a mother. How do you think that those unique experiences that you have, right, that you've been formed with, how do you think that those things will help you on Palm Beach County Public School Board?
Well, I will say I don't think very many other candidates can have had those hats all together in terms of being a mother, being a nurse, being a former professor, being somebody who has policy experience. It's a unique combination that I bring to the table, and it informs all of my decisions, not only personally but professionally, where I see all sides of the coin. I see both sides of the issues. Whenever I'm thinking about something, considering something, I am a fantastic listener, so making sure that I hear constituents and I hear the concerns that they're feeling as a parent myself, also being able to hear the parents and the issues that they're feeling and seeing, and being able to put all that into consideration with any decision that I make, and ultimately making sure that decisions are made with students in mind, and students first will always be my priority.
And as a mother who wants to put the needs of children first, and your own children and the children of Palm Beach County, one of the big things that people are talking about in education in Florida is school choice. It is 2 years since HB1 passed, and universal school choice is now the law in Florida. Parents have a right to send their child to private school, homeschool, traditional public school, or public charter school. In the midst of that environment of choice, some school districts are struggling. There are some board members that have been very vocal against the advent of universal school choice. There are those who blame that for the decline in enrollment in some school districts, budget shortfalls, that Palm Beach is experiencing some of that. Then you have those that say that actually it's been a long time coming, that parents were put at the forefront of decisions in the education of their own children, and that there's been a monopoly in education. But regardless of where people stand, everyone wants to know where their board members stand on the issue. Could you share a little bit of where you stand on school choice and what voters could expect from you if elected?
Absolutely. As a mother and as a parent, 100% I support school choice, because parents absolutely should be at the forefront of decisions to how and where they educate their child. What I'm, in terms of somebody who has a policy background, what I am foremost going to be looking for is any opportunity to make sure that we have accountability. When we talk about taxpayer dollars, when we talk about money that's coming out of taxpayers' pockets to support private, charter, public, wherever it is, we expect transparency and we expect accountability. That's what I want to see as we move forward with these vouchers, because it's imperative that voters feel that their dollars are properly spent and properly managed wherever it may go.
Speaking of dollars well managed, one of the largest things that voters express on polls throughout the country and in Florida in particular is the impact on their family and their financial well-being. Families, when asked what the most important issues for them that government would address, it's the economy, it's inflation, it's property taxes, it's property insurance. When you see those things as being top of mind, it's because real people like myself are struggling to make sure they can provide for their families,
Absolutely.
put bread on the table. They want to be able to afford gas, right? And so these basic needs are now in question. Things that we took for granted for a long time are no longer things that we can take for granted. And in that environment, when a taxpayer looks at the budgets for school districts throughout the state, but in Palm Beach in particular, they see a $5.9 billion budget, and billion with a B. And people want to know, how can you, as an elected official, if elected to the school board, how would you be able and how would you work to make sure that all of those dollars are working to unleash the local economy and stimulate the local economy in Palm Beach?
Well, absolutely. The first thing that's important is making sure that we have teachers that are qualified and that are well compensated for the work that they're doing. I think that is one of the biggest issues that a lot of school boards and school districts are facing, that teacher recruitment and teacher retention is down. So in order for us to focus on student outcomes and make sure that our students are getting the best, we have to recruit and keep the best. So financially, that $5.9 billion will be making sure that we reduce top line administrative expenses that are unnecessary and fluff or duplicative, and making sure that they're actually going into the pockets of the teachers and the staff that actually are the front line in terms of educating our students. That's first and foremost in my priority. And then financially, how we make sure that we continue to be accountable to our taxpayers and we are transparent in how we spend dollars. It's making sure that every decision that's made is explained. It may not necessarily be everyone's in agreement about that decision, but making sure that it's very clear about why this decision was made and how it affects everyone involved. So these financial decisions, as we talk about Palm Beach County, for example, we experienced nearly an 8,000 student decline, which led to about a $66 million shortfall. And these numbers in this environment will potentially keep trending downwards until we find a way to shore those things up. So it's not a one issue that's causing this decline. It's the decline. It's not just choice. It's a combination of things. It's choice, it's immigration, it's just birth rates are going down. People are moving out because of the affordability crisis. People are moving away. So there's so many things that are accounting for those dollars being taken or rather reduced within our school districts. But as a board member, my job will be to make sure that line by line I'm reviewing that budget, finding waste and expenses that are unnecessary, making sure that they're prioritized and put into things that will prioritize our students, and making sure that they're getting the sound just education that their parents are sending them and their families are sending them to our schools for. So that's what you'll get from me as a future school board member, and that's the work that I intend to do every single day.
Is there anything else that you would want voters to know about you when they go to the ballot box that separates you on the ballot?
Absolutely. So I am the only candidate running that is the person who has not only experience, but the personal investment. I am well trained in terms of policy decisions and budget management and fiscal responsibility. I am a mother, I am an educator, all those three hats and many others that come together. Somebody who's coming from a background of healthcare and nursing, it's very hard to put all those things together in one package, but somehow I do. And I'm grateful for all those life experiences that have brought me to this place to be able to say that I can and will lead with responsibility, with accountability, our $5.9 billion budget, and support all of our students so that they can have strong outcomes. And lastly, it's important to know that with those outcomes, we're talking about future careers, future tech, and trade opportunities. My job isn't just to educate our students, my job is to prepare them for the real world. And that's where I want to be that future board member that takes into consideration every student's potential outcomes and what they can become in the real world tomorrow.
Thank you for sitting down. It's been a real pleasure.
It's such a pleasure to meet with you. Thank you so much, Dr. Arza.
Thank you.
Yeah.